Jungle Cruise, the brand new Disney live action film taken from the Disney ride in Disneyland and Disney World. This film stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, Jack Whitehall, Jesse Plemons, Edgar Ramirez, and Paul Giamatti. Tell a story about these two people. Emily Blunt plays Lily, who is a doctor, a scientist who is looking for a tree that can possibly cure all health and all of these diseases. She takes her brother, played by Jake Whitehall, to the Amazon where they need a person to direct them through all of this. And that person is Frank, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. On the way, they're being chased down by a German-led group led by Jesse Plemons, and a group coming back from the dead played by Edgar Ramirez. The film is 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and it is PG. My name is Matt Stewart. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. We're talking Jungle Cruise. Before we start talking Jungle Cruise in a non-spoiler fashion, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button below. You got to hit that button if you're watching this video right now. Please do it. It is the best way to support this channel. Also, please comment down below your thoughts. First of all, if you've seen the film already, tell me, did you like it, not like it? I've heard a lot of mixed things from people. Love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have not seen, tell me, first of all, are you going to check this one out in theaters, or are you going to pay the $30 premiere access for Jungle Cruise? Subscribe, ring the bell. I do these movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown. So I'll lay on my next 2 videos at the end of this video. So if you're also just new to the channel, if you haven't even know, so this is, as of now, the last movie for Disney that they're doing, both the Disney Plus and the in theater day and date. So as of now, this is the last premiere access movie from Disney. So this is it, $30 if you want to watch it at home in theaters as well. So I was actually a bit mixed on the movie. I did not like the trailers, but I loved the cast. This is a really good cast for this type of movie. You have The Rock, who is, again, the highest paid actor and most popular actor currently in Hollywood. I obviously grew up with the wrestling part of it, but to see him now become the biggest actor in Hollywood is so amazing to watch. Emily Blunt is one of my favorite actors today. Again, my favorite movie of the year thus far is A Quiet Place Part 2. So it's been great to see her come back with just so many great movies over the past couple of years. Jesse Plemons is always a scene stealer. And there's just a lot of, this is a really good cast for, I guess, this type of movie, but the trailers were not helping me out get excited for this movie. So let's get my positives, then my negatives. I'll give you my score out of 5 stars and my Rotten Tomatoes percentage. So the best parts about this movie are the cast and the characters in the movie. Really, the cast is the clear and main, far and away part of the movie that is the best part. The Rock and Emily Blunt have really great chemistry in the movie. Even from the second, it's a bit too awkward, I would say, the first couple interactions with them, but once the film really settles into its second act, the better they are together, why they're interested in finding this basically MacGuffin of the movie that I don't want to spoil, but they're looking for this tree that can basically save things. And the reasoning why The Rock wants to do this makes total sense, and the reason why Emily Blunt wants this MacGuffin also makes total sense. And the chemistry they have with each other, the wittiness, the back and forth, they both just give off so much charisma. They both really do feel like movie stars when you're watching the movie, and that's just a great plus that the movie has. Jesse Plemons steals the entire movie, in my opinion. He plays this German-led leader who also wants this MacGuffin in the movie, and Emily Blunt stole something from him in the first act of the movie, which has led him down to following them. He is so funny in this movie. He has a couple bits with him singing, the way he talks, just the bits that he has in this movie are really good. Again, he's been stealing the movie since for a very long time now. You know, all the way, really, Game Night was the first time he really came on in a major way. I saw him in Thinking of Ending Things last year, just a really good actor who's finally getting the recognition that he deserves. He, again, steals his entire movie as, I guess, the main villain of the movie. Also, Jack Whitehall's in here as Emily Blunt's brother, who is just on the journey with her sister and has this big loyalty to his sister. He was actually quite annoying, I would say, in the first act of the movie, but he really comes into his own in the last 2 acts with some really funny bits in the movie. And that's what I would say most about this movie. This is a great turn your brain off movie to watch. It does feel like a vibe when you're watching it. It does feel like at times, which could be a negative, and I'll get to my negatives, a cartoon. But for the most part, the movie is just an easy watching film. It's a bit over 2 hours, and you just never feel the runtime in the entire movie. these two characters have to find this MacGuffin. You've seen this movie a billion times, but it's also what keeps it watchable at some points is these two charismatic actors with other supporting casts who also do a really good job in the movie. The first act I really loved. The opening of Emily Blunt's character, the opening with The Rock's character are fantastic openings of both of and Jesse Plemons. Those two characters get amazing intros, and you get really invested quickly into the characters just as off the first act of the movie, which I believe is by far the best part of the movie. But as a whole, guys, it's a really fun movie, and it's led by these two charismatic actors. There's some fun action scenes, and the movie does have a pretty solid score from Jason Newhart, who gives a very Indiana Jones Pirates of the Caribbean like score to the movie to make it feel even more epic. And for the most part, when they're on location in the Amazon, it does look really good in the movie. But let's move on to my negatives, guys. And the story for me just isn't that clear. And while I saw this movie with a person the other day, and I saw it with my mom, and she thought, and I told her this right away. I was like, it was great. I was enjoying the movie, but I was more enjoying watching these people do the adventure than the story of what's going on. The actual MacGuffin, I don't even remember what it's called. That's why I'm trying to think of it in such a I can't even think of it in a spoiler way because I forgot what it was called. It's a really forgettable. It's just a MacGuffin that you've seen. It's very similar to the MacGuffin of Pirates of the Caribbean 4, Stranger Tides. And I think that's the worst Pirates film. So if you think that MacGuffin was good, you might really love this movie. But the MacGuffin here is just so predictable and so convenient for the character. You can just do anything, and it just feels so convenient. Edgar Ramirez's character, who is a person who has history with The Rock, his inclusion in the film, the script really needs him to pop, and he just doesn't pop. It's not to the fault of Ramirez. He barely is in the movie, but they want him to be the biggest bad, the most intimidating threat of the movie. And he just never feels like a realistic threat to The Rock at all during the film. And there are so many exposition dump flashback scenes in the movie. It gets really tiring. There's especially one where The Rock's giving away his entire past to Emily Blunt, and there's all these flashback scenes. It just pulls me right out of the movie when you're doing this much exposition. And just if you can really nitpick this movie. The movie does not have a good story, a story that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Some of the CGI is not good of the movie, but really the biggest fault of the movie is the last 30 minutes of the movie. It just is not a good conclusion. Jesse Plemons really seemed like the main villain of the movie, and then the second act wanted Edgar Ramirez, and it kind of felt like Pirates 4 in the last 25-30 minutes where there's just everyone wants this MacGuffin, and it gets too overcrowded with stuff. And it was just I couldn't stop thinking about Pirates of Stranger Tides with the third act of this movie, because in that movie you had just random people showing up to get it. Now this one, there are no random people, but you don't really care about any of these people, and you don't really see any of these people being actual threats to our main characters. And overall, it's just, the story just doesn't work for me. I enjoyed the actors. It's a fun movie to watch just to see these actors be charismatic. The movie, I was pretty much laughing throughout the entire film. Nothing too, I wasn't laughing my butt off, but I was really chuckling throughout the entire film. But still, for me, the third act does not hold up, and that's why this movie isn't as great as it really could be. So overall, guys, I'm going to give Jungle Cruise a 3.5 out of 5, a 66%, guys. I really did have a fun time with this movie. I know some people are not liking this movie at all, and I'm not going to complain. If you guys don't like this movie, I don't blame you. If you actually think about what happens in this movie, it could be one of the worst stories of the year. But for me, when you have these many great actors on screen and some fun characters with Jesse Plemons and The Rock and Emily Blunt, it's a tough movie not to enjoy. So that's my thoughts on Jungle Cruise. Leave your thoughts in non-spoiler if you've already seen the movie in the comment section down below. Also, let me know, do you want to see this movie? Did I help you want to see this movie? Like the video, subscribe. The next two videos are this is my 14th movie of July that I saw and that came out this month. I'll be doing my ranking of all 14 movies tomorrow, the July 2021 ranking. And then on Monday, let's see how Jungle Cruise does at the box office. I do a box office breakdown show every Monday. That will be up on Monday as well. So I'll see you guys then.